Dreamer gang, okay, let's be clear. I'm not here to give a realistic scenario. I took full creative liberties with the series to make this my own story, basically. I bent some of the rules to make some of the jutsu work to fit the story, but nothing that really messes up the integrity of the overall story. Disclaimer out of the way, let's get started. Kakashi looks out in terror. Isubu, the three-tailed beast, had just escaped from Ren's body, killing her, and was now rampaging through the leaf. This was all part of the Hidden Mist Village's plan. Minato, who was out of options, kisses his wife goodbye. He was going to use the Reaper Death Seal. After completing the Shiki Fujin and sealing Isubu in the Reaper's belly, Minato winked at his wife one last time before the Reaper ate his soul. Kushina spread the tale of her husband's heroic effort all throughout the village. Minato died a hero, but he did not die a Hokage. So with Minato dead, Fugaku was chosen to be the fourth Hokage by Hiruzen. Orochimaru was angry enough to kill his master when he found out the news. Why would he not choose his own student to be his successor, especially now that Minato was no longer available for the job? Instead, he left the village and began his mission of learning every jutsu in the ninja world, a feat that his master Hiruzen had falsely claimed to be true. Now that Fugaku Uchiha was the fourth Hokage, Danzo was scared that he would soon be demoted to the rank of senile village elder, or worst case scenario, be killed. He quickly devised a plan. He started a rumor in the village that Fugaku and the rest of the Uchiha clan were planning a coup d'etat against the Leaf as payback for the years they felt they had been mistreated. Before long, the village was divided and was on the verge of a civil war. It was at this moment Danzo brilliantly suggested to the village elders, without consulting Fugaku, that they should kill the whole Uchiha clan. Out of fear, the village elders accepted his plan. Was meditating in a forest outside of the Leaf Village to prepare for his mission when he was rudely interrupted by a man claiming to be the legendary Madara, and after realizing he was in this guy's genjutsu and breaking it, he believed him. Madara offered to help Itachi with his mission if he would join him afterwards of his group, and Itachi saw this as the perfect opportunity to still give info to the Leaf Village since he would be labeled a rogue ninja. As night fell, they executed the entire Uchiha clan mercilessly, until they got to Sasuke, that is. As Itachi tries on his black cloak with red clouds for the first time, Pain reveals who his teammate will be. As Itachi puts on his ring, Orochimaru enters the room. It didn't take long for Orochimaru to try and steal Itachi's body. However, he failed miserably. So he went back to the drawing board and revised his plan. He offered Madara a deal. He would reveal the location of the Uzumaki clan hideout in exchange for his help taking Itachi's body. Obito accepted the offer, knowing Itachi was not to be trusted and probably still had an ace in his hand that he was saving. After the deed was done, Obito headed to the location specified by Orochimaru, and to his surprise, the snake didn't lie. There lies the Uzumaki clan hideout with all of the Uzumaki sealing masks inside. He took the 5 masks on the main display and began training with them. While training, he came up with a new persona he would act as. He was no longer Obito or Madara. He was now Tobi. Waging war. After many years of collecting money and tailed beasts, Tobi found himself as the leader of the most powerful collection of shinobi on the planet. He was closer than ever to completing his mission. He had the first 7-tailed beasts in his possession, leaving him with only 2 more to gather. It was time for a hostile takeover. He knew that Kushina was the 9-tails Jinchuriki, but first he had to capture the 8-tails. The only issue was that he had no leads on who his Jinchuriki was. One day, he appeared in the Leaf Village and let the paths of Pain loose on the village. As Pain hovered in the sky ready to do the planetary devastation jutsu, Tobi told Fugaku that this was only a warning and that the other ninja villages were to surrender the 8 and 9 tails within 3 days or else. As the words "or else" left his mouth, Fugaku charged at him, but before he could get to him, Obito used Kamui to send Fugaku's attack right through him. As soon as this happened, Pain yells, "Shibata!" as he releases his most devastating jutsu on the Leaf Village, picking himself up from the ruins of what was once his village. Fugaku called an emergency 5 Kage summit. The hidden ninja villages would have to come together to stop this force. He explained that this would be the 4th Shinobi World War, but this time it was truly good versus evil. Meanwhile, Tobi was gathering his forces as well. With the help of Orochimaru, who knew nothing about the infinite Tsukuyomi just like the rest of the world, they reanimated the entire Uchiha clan, including the real Madara, the first 3 Hokage, and many other notable shinobi from all of history. Obito then brought Minato and the 3-tailed beast back from the belly of the Reaper with the Shinigami mask. Finally, all of his training with the mask was paying off.
Fight!
As the Shinobi Alliance stands on the battlefield ready for war, they see one lone enemy coming towards them. He wasn't possibly planning on fighting alone, was he? Indeed he was. Reanimated Madara then proceeds to eliminate more than a quarter of their forces with his Rinnegan's visual prowess. As the battle heats up, Kakashi manages to make his way all the way to where Tobi and Orochimaru were. Obito remarks how glad he was that Kakashi would pay him a visit after all these years, and how he'd been waiting for ages to take his eye back. The fight goes into the Kamui dimension, but this time Kakashi is no match for an Obito with Zetsu Cell still allowing him to access Wood Style, and the Uzumaki Sealing Mask allowing him to access Uzumaki style techniques. Obito feels more alive than ever while popping his other eye back into its socket. Zetsu gathered information on Kushina's location, so Obito sent Minato to go get her and extract the Nine Tails. As Minato and Kushina duke it out, they have an emotional conversation about how much they miss each other and regret never being able to start a family. Kushina remarks how she always wanted a boy named Naruto. Before she could finish saying it, Minato had finished her in a moment's notice by undoing her seal. Once the Nine Tails was free, Obito put it under a genjutsu since it could not go into the Geto Mazu statue before the 8 Tails, or his plan would be messed up. So now it's just a matter of weaning out all of the pool balls until we only have lucky number 8 remaining. He sends for Nagato, and when Nagato arrives, Tobi kills him and takes his Rinnegan. As the Shinobi Alliance numbers continue to dwindle, reanimated Itachi sees Sasuke from a distance. Itachi then charges at Sasuke. As Itachi realizes he's not in control of his own body, he tells Sasuke the truth. Sasuke uses up all of his chakra and uses his last resort, Kirin. It made direct contact. Sasuke was then devastated to see Itachi heal flawlessly. Itachi then put Sasuke in a Tsukuyomi to show him all the memories he and Sasuke had growing up before he plunged his blade through Sasuke's heart. He then takes his eyes. Fugaku just so happened to be close enough to see this happen, but not close enough to stop it. It was on now. Father versus son, EMS versus EMS. Fugaku had one fatal disadvantage in this battle. He was alive. See, Itachi and Fugaku are the 2 top genjutsu users in this verse, so the fact that genjutsu doesn't work on reanimations forced Fugaku off of his usual game. As soon as Fugaku realized his disadvantage, he quickly used his Susanoo to crush Itachi and seal him with his Tosca blade. Fugaku was mentally exhausted. He had just watched his sons fight a battle to the death, and then he had to kill the winner himself. But this is war, he reminded himself, and that there is no time to be tired right now. As he picks himself up, he saw Itachi. But it wasn't a reanimation. There were no marks. It was Orochimaru in Itachi's body. "So you're gonna make me kill him twice?" asked Fugaku sarcastically. "No, I'll be doing the killing this time," responded Orochimaru. Fugaku was now more heartbroken and pissed off than ever. He had reached the final evolution of his Uchiha eyes in this battle, the Rinnegan. He promptly destroys Orochimaru, who stood no chance against a Kage-level Uchiha with a Rinnegan. After back-to-back fights, Fugaku was worn out, but he had yet to face his toughest battle. As soon as he finished burning the remains of Orochimaru, he looked back to see Madara Uchiha looking back at him. The real Madara. "I see you have eyes like mine now," says Madara. Fugaku doesn't respond with words, but with action. He almost pulled out the victory, but his fatigue and lack of experience with his new eyes allowed Madara to escape with a narrow victory. Meanwhile, Obito and Zetsu have a lead. They think that the tailed beast might be Might Guy. As they charge in after Guy, B is fighting alongside him. Guy tries to fight him off using the 8 gates. He goes all the way to 7 before Obito realizes that this is not the power of the 8 tails on display, but it was the power of the 8 inner gates. Obito goes toe-to-toe with Guy, forcing him to open the 8th gate, at which point he just uses Kamui to phase through all of his attacks until his energy runs out and he inevitably dies. When Obito turns to B and asks him, "So I guess that makes you the lucky Jinchuriki, huh?" B was already going into his tailed beast form to try and fight off Obito, who used Rinnegan chakra chains to pull the tailed beast right out of B before he even had a chance to do anything. Obito then summons the 10 tails with the Geto Mazo. The only people left in this part of the battlefield now are Tobi and Madara. They have an equally matched fight over who gets to become the 10 tails Jinchuriki and complete the infinite Tsukuyomi. But Obito was able to manage to perform the sealing jutsu to become the Jinchuriki in the split second he had to deactivate his Kamui. And once this was complete, Madara no longer stood a chance. 10 tails Obito crushes Madara. Infinite Tsukuyomi. As the moon rises, Obito casts the jutsu he has been waiting to cast for so long, the infinite Tsukuyomi. He remarks how much he misses Rin, and how he feels no more alone now that he is the only person still conscious than he was the moment that she died. At least no one else would ever have to bear this pain again, he thought. As he finally closes his eyes to get a peaceful rest for the first time since before the Third Great Ninja War, during his childhood, he could rest easy knowing victory was his. A hero would sacrifice you for the world. And a villain would sacrifice the world for you.